the legend that is Mr. Kevin Richardson. He's been a part of the Lean Project for, we've worked out, 3.5 years now. Kev, you like to give yourself a little intro, who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's cool. So Kevin Richardson, I've known Mike years. Thanks for the kind introduction about a legend. I think he might have meant leg end, but anyway.
You are a legend in the Lean Project. The guys will agree.
Lawyer by day, and really great to be on. So thank you.
No, thank you for taking the time. So, like I said, Kev's actually been in the Lean Project for about 3.5 years. So if we go back to before you joined the Lean Project, I know that was a little while ago now. What was going on for you, and what made you want to reach out and make some changes?
So, and it's a bit like sometimes you have a light bulb moment, but I've been feeling pretty flat, kind of no motivation, no real kind of get up and go, if you like it. I don't like that word, but no, get up and go.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put on huge amounts of weight, was eating pretty rubbish, and just didn't feel great about myself generally, which was, having an effect both work and personally, because, if you're feeling flat and you don't like yourself, then, it has a negative effect on life generally. And so, one day you kind of take a look in the mirror and go, well, I either need to make some changes or things are going to, spiral out of control. And, thankfully, with the wonderful world of social media and age that we have, obviously saw your project. Obviously, we'd worked together previously when you were in your personal training days.
Yeah.
And it was a kind of a case of, well, let's reach out to Mike and have a chat and see what he's got to offer and where we're going to go.
Nice. It takes me back as well, because obviously it was a while ago for us now, wasn't it? So let's go to that initial. So we did an initial 12 weeks. If we look at what you got from those 12 weeks, your achievements, how you progressed, I guess personally, health-wise, professionally, talk to me about those first 12 weeks. What were the main things you took from that, Kev?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that if anyone's watching this or has any doubts about whether or not your methods work, they do. When we first joined, someone who has reticism about most things is just like, okay, am I really going to change that much in 12 weeks? Obviously, we had our initial chat.
Mm-hmm.
Where you outlined what your program was about. And, the good thing about it is that anyone who's listening or watches later is that, it's not just about fitness and nutrition. It's about building, certain routines and, changing small little things that ultimately make huge changes to all aspects of your life. So, one of the big things about all of it is, the small changes that you make about mindset and understanding yourself and your body. And, everybody's different in the project, but
Mm-hmm.
the way in which you run that project for each individual is, tailored to them and allows each individual to get the best out of your talent. So, initially it was about wanting to get fitter and losing weight. But actually the project was so much more for me. Starting to learn about myself, understanding that actually, it's not a competition with Joe Bloggs down the road or, your next door neighbor. The only person you're in competition with is yourself. And once you understand that actually it's about you and about yourself, you can start making small changes. And, that those small changes, while initially quite scary in terms of, having a structure and a routine, understanding more about nutrition and calories, it soon becomes just a natural daily habit. And that's the huge thing. They're just small little changes that you make gradually over a period of time that actually then become such a daily habit and routine, you don't actually realize you're doing it. And that was the big thing for me. So, but having seen the transformation, during that first 12 weeks, I think there was about a 2 stone weight loss. We started, I started getting fitter. And then, I think the most important thing for me is that in turn built confidence in myself and my ability. And, has subsequently had a huge effect, both in terms of personal relationships and work life. So, the initial 12 weeks was a taster. And, when we first started, it was like, there's no way I'm going to do this in 12 weeks. But of course, not only did we achieve what we wanted to achieve in 12 weeks, as a result of the change in mindset, things progressed. We went on and did another 12 weeks after that. And of course, the rest, as they say, is history. And we continue to work together now, albeit not in such a direct form, but certainly on a weekly basis, with calls with the group. And the whole kind of ethos that's been created around both the one-to-ones initially, and now the group that exists both on a Tuesday and a Thursday is just phenomenal. The fact that everyone is supporting of each other, there's no competition between us, and everyone lives for the success of each other, and allows them to those successes drive on everyone else, is just a phenomenal feeling. So it was a really a great thing to do.
I feel like and obviously you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's a really inspiring place to be. Seeing, obviously, everyone's got different challenges, everyone's got different goals, but you and the guys are all on a similar path, with different destinations and goals. But to me, it feels like that's a really inspiring place to be. What would your thoughts be on that?
Well, it absolutely is inspiring, and actually, when and as I've just said, I often, and I know the other guys are the same, when we see the changes and the transformations of everybody else, that's almost as good, if not better, than seeing our own transformations, because it's almost as though there is a group of guys that have a slightly different goals but have the same ideals and the same focus, and we can celebrate it all together. The weekly calls give us a safe space to talk about good things and bad things. We celebrate the wins. We talk about the ups and downs that we have during life, during the week, and it's a safe space to be able to express all of those things. So anyone who thinks that working with you, Mike, it's just about fitness, nutrition and going to the gym, they'd be a million miles away. And fitness and nutrition is important, but actually it's only a really small part of what you do, and actually is a really small part of anybody wanting to make a change, because fitness and nutrition is great, but actually you've got to have the determination and the mindset to want to do it, and the way in which you're able to encourage like-minded men to do that is just phenomenal, and it's done in such a relaxed style. So it's just a great place to be.
You make me blush a little bit, Kev. It's very, very kind words, and obviously massively appreciated. All right, so let's bring you up to date. So I challenged you and a few of the guys maybe almost a year ago now, right, to do a photo shoot. Is that correct?
You did, yeah, you did. It was
right.
yeah. I mean, And initially, like everything we've done with a challenge, whether it's been,
sorry, just quickly before we get into that, and this is from someone, Kev, who said, I think maybe the week 2 or 3, you'll never be a guy that goes to the gym.
Oh yeah, well I mean, that small change. I mean, now a minimum of 3 times a week, often 4 or 5 times a week, and actually, from that perspective, it is actually my happy place now. I go away to the gym usually after work, just to wind down and relax, but also keep fit. So in terms of that, yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal change. I mean, when we met, I'd been to gyms before, hated them, didn't really understand them, and now it's just like a second home to me, as well as all of the other things that we've done too about growth and mindset and confidence and all of those other things. So yeah, about a year ago, you challenged the guys to a photo shoot. Obviously, previously we'd been challenged to climb a mountain together over in Wales, which was a great day out and huge fun, as well as a great experience doing it together as a group. And it's a bit like all of these things. When you initially laid down a challenge, it's like, okay, let's take this head on. But actually, the reality is that while we're up for a challenge, the fear factor of doing a photo shoot and being completely out of one's comfort zone, and having the balls, if you like, to strip down half naked and show your body both in a gym and to a photographer is something I thought I'd never do. And certainly would be something that I would not enjoy at all, because I hate having my photo taken at the best of times. Not particularly photogenic, but nonetheless, we decided that if you're going to grow as an individual, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone. You can't grow as a person if you do everything all of the time that's comfortable, because you're never going to grow. You're never going to progress. And I think that's part of the great thing about being part of your group, is that understanding that if you want to develop and move on, you've got to have growth, and in order to have growth, you've got to learn to step out of your comfort zone. So it was something that you challenged us to do. Initially it was like, okay, well, we've got a little bit of time, we've got a year. That year came round very, very quickly. And of course, it culminated at the weekend. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the photo shoot itself, what an absolutely amazing day. What an absolutely fantastic experience. Yeah, while it was certainly scary initially, once the first photos were done, it's an absolute scream. And I'd do another one. And actually, there was nothing to fear. At the end of the day, it's just about you, and overcoming those small little fears that you may have about, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this because this is, but actually, what is it at the end of the day? Well, it's not really anything. It is something, but actually, if you break it down, it is actually, something that's not really that difficult to do, despite all the fears beforehand. And it is one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah, dude, I'd love to hear that. And the big thing for me, and the reason why I wanted to challenge all you guys to do it, is that I think, first of all, I knew it'd be a great experience for you guys, but I also knew that leading up to it, you're never going to train harder, eat better, like really put all that effort into it, and have such a shift in mindset doing something like that. Because you say when you break it down, it's not that much of a big thing. I actually think it is, because I don't think many men would do it and step up to do that, you know. So you have done that, and you and the guy should feel really good for doing that. So tell me now, obviously, you know, we only done it Saturday, so it's still quite, like, I guess, like, close to when you did it. But, like, how are you feeling now that you have done that? You have got out your comfort zone. You've seen the photos. Like how are you feeling like today? I know you may be still feeling a bit groggy because we did have a bit of a night out. But other than that, how are you feeling?
Well, we deserve the night out, and can I just add that actually, as a group of guys who we only probably see once a week on a Zoom call, the kind of camaraderie connection that we have as a group is just phenomenal. It just feels like we're the best mates. You know, the connection is always there. We have a good time. You know, I think certainly as a result of the buzz from the photo shoot on Saturday, that helped. But, you know, having spent time with the guys previously, you know, it is amazing the connection that we've built. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that we're open and there's a huge trust between us, and there's no egos, and you know, and everybody wants everybody to succeed. Mm-hmm. So that was great. But I mean, in terms of the photo shoot, I mean, I still can't believe, if I'm honest, that those photos are me. It's really strange. It is me, and before anyone says anything, they're not out there yet, but I'm sure they may be out there. They're not edited in any way. They're natural photos. And I probably had, you know, my wife said to me when she looked at them the other day, even though she sees me every day, is that you? And it's just like, that's almost the biggest compliment that someone can give you, because, you know, you look so different. And actually, it makes you just feel so great. It makes you just feel like anything's possible. And, you know, to see the change and the transformation, and yeah, you've got to put in the work, and you've got to do the dedication. It didn't just happen. But, you know, there aren't very many people, and I know I said there wasn't much to it. And what I meant was, you know, it wasn't as scary as I thought.
Yeah, I think that's what you meant. We build these things up, then when you actually go and do it, you go, actually, do you know what? That weren't that bad. And also, I really enjoyed it.
But actually, in terms of, you know, there aren't very many people that would probably, you know, in the middle of a public gym, nice gym though it was, you know, strip off in front of these people and a photographer you've never met before and start having photos taken. And, you know, it was, as I say, probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. I'm still on a high with it. And actually, the one thing that it's done is make me want to push myself some more. Mm-hmm. So that actually, okay, well, this is where I've got to now, in 3.5 years. This is what I've achieved now. If I carry on doing what I've been doing, and, you know, that for me, about the change in mindset that I've had, is that there is now this wish and desire to keep on improving every day, not just with my health and fitness and, you know, my physique, but, you know, work wise, you know, I don't want to stand still. And, you know, to a certain extent, yes, I've put in the work. Yes, I've done all of the, put all the building blocks in place. And, you know, it is about building blocks and having, you know, certain things in place about, you know, things that you won't compromise on, and making sure that you do the same thing every day, and start looking at yourself in terms of, if things don't go right, what can I do better? How can I improve it? But, you know, the reality is that unless I'd spoken to you on that first day, and unless I'd been part of your project, you know, it wouldn't have changed. And, you know, for that, I shall always be grateful, because, yeah, we've got to do the work. Yes, I've got to want to commit, but it's the way in which you encourage and the methods that you adapt and use that, you know, has allowed me and the rest of the guys to get into the place where we are. And you know, that in itself is, you know, probably the biggest compliment I can pay to you. You know, we've done the work, yes, but without your knowledge and expertise, we wouldn't get there. So, you know, and the changes that I've had have been phenomenal, you know, both in terms of my body, my physique, my nutrition, you know, promotion to director at work. So, you know, all of those things have all had a kind of knock-on effect. And, you know, we've decided, and, you know, I've now decided that, you know, I'm not going to stop. You know, you just, once you get into that place, you just want to continue and you want to improve every day. And, you know, that is what anyone should want to achieve.
Yeah, dude, again, like love to hear that. So like trying to think of my next question actually. You have given me a lot of compliments today, Kevin. It's obviously, like, the way I see it is basically it's a 50-50 partnership. You know, I always think this, you know, I can show a client the path, you have to walk down it. You know, if my clients meet me halfway, and you know, hopefully they'll do well, and that's what you and the guys have done. But I think having that shoot at the weekend, I hoped it would be something where, you know, you do grow and you do feel great from it and go, actually, do you know what? If I've got to this place now, where could I be in another year, 2 years, 3 years? And I think that's important to recognize as well, that what you do and the other guys, it's not a quick fix. This isn't about trying to drop as much weight as quickly as possible, strict dieting. This is about longevity, about being the best you can moving forward and having a toolkit. Does that resonate?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, we talked about the building blocks earlier on. You know, you've got to have the foundation to work from, the building blocks. And I think once you've got those and you start seeing the results from those building blocks, the rest of it becomes relatively easy. And it's a bit like what I was saying right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes kind of almost a natural everyday thing, because you have all of the tools in place to be able to deal with things that might knock you a little bit off of where you want to be. You know, I think, you know, one of the biggest things I've learned while working with you is that actually, while yes, you have to celebrate your successes, you actually learn more from your mistakes and your bad days. Because, you know, while everything's going great, you don't think anything needs to change. And actually, I think people grow more and develop more by acknowledging that things have not gone well or that you've made a mistake, and then having the tools to say, okay, well, how can I change that? What can I do? And I think, you know, that's the big thing for me. You know, growth comes from mistakes. It doesn't come from success.
100%. I think there's a really good book. I think it's called Obstacles the Way. And it's about, I think as people, we can be quite good at making excuses. Whereas, you know, you want to say that excuse, I don't know, you're late for work for whatever reason because you're not being organized, and you say it's this reason. And we all know it's not true. It's like lack of organization, all these things. And I think it should always be like, instead of making an excuse, what's the solution? Because then you're growing and you're learning from what happened previously, and then you obviously can move forwards. All right, let's last question, I reckon. So obviously we've been working together for a while. If there's been anyone, you know, watching today or that's been connected with me for a while and they're on the fence, they're thinking about potentially asking to join the Lean Project, what would you say to those guys, Kev?
Well, I mean, hopefully having watched this or, you know, picked it up, they're not going to need anything else. But you know, I'd probably say that doing this is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Yes, it requires a commitment, but, you know, look at where it has taken me. Look where it could potentially take you. If you've got any doubt, don't have any. And actually, what I'd say is, look, you've seen the results, and actually, if you're sitting on the fence, what's the worst that's going to happen? If you don't make that call, if they don't make contact with you, you're never going to know. You're never going to know, and you're never going to find out. And from those of us that did make the call, did make the jump, I think you have two choices in life. Do you sit in your comfort zone and think, oh, well, I don't really want to do that? Or do you take a leap of faith and go, do you know what? I do want to make a change. And what I can say is that if they take that leap of faith and they decide that they want to make a change, they won't be disappointed, because, the results that you've had, and my own view is that, there is absolutely no doubt that it works. Simple as that.
Nice. What's your biggest takeaway from jumping on this morning, Kev?
I think just having the opportunity to A, explain the process and the journey, and B, to encourage anyone who's thinking about making a change to just do it. And I think the one good thing about the group is that everyone's there to support everyone, whatever stage of the journey they're at. And anyone who wouldn't want to be a part of that, it would be an idiot. And to have the opportunity of having a chat with you and explaining my journey has just been a pleasure. And I think if you want to work with Mike, then do it, because as I say, you won't be disappointed. And hopefully jumping on's given some people some food for thought, and has hopefully tipped them in the yes column, rather than that I'll sit on the fence for another few weeks. So it's been a pleasure to share my story, and always great to see you, Mike, of course. And thank you very much.
Yeah, Kev, massively appreciate you for taking the time out to jump on this morning, and obviously being part of your journey and seeing you develop, how it's unfolded, the difference from when we first worked together years ago, and then the difference between obviously week 1, week 2 when we started working together to now. It's incredible to see. I absolutely love it. And I mean what I said at the top, Kev, the legends, the guys love you, a massive part of the team. And once again, thank you for jumping on. And just to anyone listening, if you have any questions, any feedback, obviously we appreciate it. And once again, Kev, thank you for jumping on. See you on tonight's call.
Yeah, great. And have a good day, everyone. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers, bye.